Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Brave Kids Art Club. My name is Brad, and today I'm excited because we're gonna draw another animal. Animals are my favorite to draw. I love drawing those other things that we draw. Those are fun, but animals are my absolute favorite. So today's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna be drawing a really special animal. This animal is the largest bird on the planet. That's right, we're drawing an ostrich today. There are so many exciting facts about ostriches that I cannot wait to share with you while we are drawing our ostrich friend. So let's make sure that we have all of our supplies and we're ready to go. All right, you're gonna need a nice clean sheet of paper. You're gonna need a pencil that is sharpened with an eraser, or if you don't have one, grab a loose eraser. We're also gonna need a dark marker or a pen. And then at the very end, we're gonna do my favorite part, is the coloring. So make sure you have something to color with. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something to color with, it'll be perfectly fine. All right, so let's start with our sketch, and that's why we have our pencil and our erasers handy. And we know that ostriches are really tall. They can get up to, the males can get up to about 9 feet. 9 feet, that's huge. I'm a really tall guy, I'm 6'3", and a female ostrich can still be taller than me. Isn't that crazy? So they're really tall, really big birds. And so we're gonna need some space here. So I'm gonna have my page here vertical so that I have enough room. And let's start maybe with the body, and then we'll kind of mark where the feet will end and where the head will end so that we kind of have an idea of how this is gonna fit on the page. Let's start with kind of an oval in the middle. We'll leave kind of equal room from the top and bottom. So sort of in the middle if we can. Let's do this. Maybe a little bit more facing, leave a little bit more room on the back here because we're gonna have a tail, the tail feathers. Okay. Something loose, doesn't have to be exact, just a little blob right there in the middle. That works fine. And then we're gonna need, the head is gonna be up here somewhere. They have long necks. So let's just draw a little circle up here, really light. I'm doing this very loose because I need to kind of figure out where they're at before we commit to our lines and the exact shape of everything. So it's gonna kind of look like this. We got our circle up there. Let's connect them real quick so we have an idea of what this neck's gonna look like. It's gonna kind of bend and come back. This kind of reminds me of the flamingo that we drew. And we're gonna, this will kind of taper off, but right now we're just gonna try to get this connected. Really loose because we're gonna go over that. Okay, so now we have an idea where the head's gonna be, the body's gonna be. It has a tail. So we're gonna kind of do a little area off here. I mean, you can automatically add the little feathers on there, but we're gonna be really loose right now because I wanna get the feet. And then we'll start, I'll actually commit to my lines once we get this part done. All right, we're mapping it out. Now let's figure out what those legs are. So I'm gonna put a little line here. They have really thick thighs. They have really big legs because they are really fast runners, and they use their legs for protection, which is really cool. They use their legs because they're so strong. They can use those legs to kick some predators that are trying to attack them, like a lion. It's pretty crazy. They're that strong. They can actually kill a lion with their feet, with a kick. That's how hard they can kick. That's crazy hard. All right, so then we'll kind of just show, we're gonna put some feet here, just so we have an idea. Okay, this is really loose, but I'm really happy with it because it shows us that we have enough room for everything. Now we can be more committed to our lines. All right, so now that we have this really quick sketch, now we're gonna clean up our sketch before we go to our dark outline and then do our coloring. But I always like to, sometimes I like to do multiple sketches so I'm really comfortable with whatever I'm gonna be drawing beforehand. So their heads aren't perfect circles. Now you can make a perfect circle if you want for their head, but I'm gonna do it a little bit different. But let me start with the neck here. I'm gonna kind of go, it's kind of flat in the back. I'm gonna kind of make it flat on the back of their head and bring it back in like this and bring it up, just like that. See that little curve? Now, arguably you can do whatever curve you want there. Their necks can probably move in lots of different directions, so you can change it to look however you'd want it to look. But I think that's what I'm gonna do in the back. And then on the front they have their bill, their beak over here. It's a pretty long beak. I'm gonna kind of draw it. It's gonna be pretty thin. It's not very thick at all. It's actually a pretty darn thin beak. It's wide, but it's thin. Since we're looking at it from the side, that's what matters. All right, so we're going to draw that sticking out the front. Let's maybe draw the eyeball. So we're going to draw a little circle right here. Maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. Got the eyeball there. Maybe I'll have them looking down. Their friendly eyeball. That's the little pupil in the middle, the black part. And then I'm going to do this on the top. It's going to be not perfectly round, but it's going to kind of go back and kind of flatten out at the top. Kind of like that. They have funky looking heads. You'll have to look up pictures of them. But they're not super rounded on the top of their head. And maybe that's a little too pointy or boxy on the side. And we can fix that like that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and so now we have the bottom of our beak. It's important to establish that right now because then we can go underneath it and kind of just have it blend and curve into the neck like that. There we go. The necks aren't crazy thick. Now there's a common myth that you may have heard that ostriches, when they're scared, they stick their heads in the ground. That's not true. It's a myth. They don't stick their heads underground and shove it in the dirt when they're scared. It might have come from when they're like trying to hide in things. They'll lay down really low so they can't be seen because they're so huge. But maybe that's where that came from. But they don't stick their head in the sand or the dirt or wherever they're at. That's just not something to do. Okay, now we're just gonna do a little curve and build this into the body. Take the neck and we're gonna just curve it into the body, and it's gonna be rounded off here. We're gonna round it off here. Now this isn't perfect, and it doesn't need to be. This could be just a perfect oval if you want it to, but I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna go straight to this being kind of a little bump because they're really big. Some people in some countries, I think it's in Africa, they have races on ostriches. They make special saddles to sit on ostriches and race them. That's how strong these animals are. All right, so if I have that on the top, I think that's a good size, but I want to add kind of a ruffled feather look. So I'm just going to kind of do this little thing right here on the top because they do look a little shaggy. All right, so we got that down there. Let's do the tail. All right, now trivia time. They have these massive wings. In fact, their wings are can get up to like 6.5 feet wide, their wingspan. That's how big they are. They're huge wings. Can they fly? Nope, they cannot fly. Sadly, they can't fly. I think that'd actually be kind of terrifying to see a giant ostrich flying. But no, they can't fly. They're too heavy. But that's why they have those big, strong legs. But you wonder then, why do they even have feathers? Or why do they even have wings? Do you know why? Well, they do have these massive wings. We're going to put them right here. And what they do is help keep them warm. That's one of the things they do. They help keep them warm. They cover up their thighs because they got big old bare thighs that don't have hair on them or anything, so they probably get really cold. So they got these big wings that they can use to protect them from the cold and to help probably keep their babies and the eggs nice and warm when they're before they're hatched. All right, so this is getting kind of messy. So what do we have to do? We're going to bring our eraser out and start cleaning it up. So you'll see that I added some more little feathers, and I'm going to have the big wing kind of overlap a little bit. It's going to be covered. They also use their wings to get each other's attention. The males will use their wings and flap around like a lot of birds do and do a little dance to impress the females. So that's another reason. Another reason why they have those big old wings. And the last reason has to do with their giant legs and how fast they run. They run so fast. They can run faster than anything on two legs, and they need to turn really quickly to get away from things, and they can do that with those big wings, act kind of like rudders on a boat. They help them turn really quickly. It's pretty cool, huh? All right, let's give them their big thighs. Let's build around our legs that we already have, huh? So we'll give them a big old thigh right here. Big chunky thigh, or muscly I should say. And then I'm going to draw kind of a circle right here for their joints, because they do kind of have rounded off joints there. And we're going to have it go like this, just kind of draw around that circle, and then do a straight line down here. There we are. I'll erase the middle here, and erase over here. All that stuff, kind of clean it up a little bit. There we are. We got a big old leg. And then we'll just do the other leg here real quick. And it's going to be behind. It's not going to come up in front of the rest of the body because it's on the other side of the body. I'm going to do the same thing over here. There we are. And then we'll erase the inside of it, of course. It's kind of nice just to kind of tidy up your drawing or sketch as you go. That really does help out as you're drawing. Now this one I think I'm going to correct real quick. Sorry for that. I'm going to make this go a little bit more straight down. Just looked a little off. Okay, that looks better. So then we got to make those little feet on there. Now I shouldn't say little because they're massive feet, and they're interesting because they're not like most bird feet. They actually only have 2 toes, and they're in the front, right here. So we're going to kind of go like this. We're going to kind of draw some big toes out here, like this, and we'll kind of bring it back a little bit, curve it back a little bit. They got these big toes, and it actually helps them run. That's why their feet are shaped like that. Pretty interesting. If you look at a picture of them, they look really wild. They look kind of alien. They don't look real. I'm going to add little claws on here. Yeah, to help them grip the ground. All right, this is looking pretty good. I think we're getting close. Maybe this eye over here. Let's go back to the face. I think that eye needs to be a little bit bigger. Ostriches have the biggest eyes out of any birds too. And that helps them see really far away. They can see predators from really far away. And then the beak will kind of connect it. It kind of goes back here. See that? We're going to have it kind of go back. So kind of have it bring it up here. I'm going to clean this up so you can see it. It's a little bit messy. There you go. We're going to have the bill kind of go out. And then come over here. And there we are. And you can add a little smile or a little line in between if it helps you, or if it's something that you want to do. You can go ahead and do that. I'm going to thicken this up a little bit. It looked a little odd. Look, got a little too skinny. But I really like this. Now I've got to draw a few little separations here. So their neck and their head and their legs are all pink and bald. Well, they got little scraggly hairs, but they don't have any feathers on them. So I'm going to draw a couple little like almost like little waves. Draw a little line there because they have different colored ones. Now, the females are colored differently than the males. That's typical for animals. And sadly, the females are usually the drab, boring colors. And it's no different with ostriches. So they are, the females are more of the brownish color that kind of matches like a dirt color. And then the males are like a really dark, almost black feathered. And they look, so that's the difference between them. I'm going to add a few more little layers here because I want to change. This one's going to be a male, I think. Well, I'm using brown. So we'll see. It'll be like a little hybrid between the two. I'm not really sure. But their coloring is actually important because it's how they protect their eggs and protect their eggs at night when they're sitting on them. Not just the females sit on the eggs and help incubate them. That means help them get ready to hatch. The males do it as well. They just take turns. So females will do it during the day because they're the kind of match the color of the ground, so they're harder to see and they can keep these eggs safe. But the males are the really dark colors, so they take the night shift and they watch them at night. That's really interesting to me. Really interesting. And it's cool that they do it together. Alrighty, what should we add? We're getting pretty close. Let's add a few little feathers here and there. I would just say kind of add them here and there. Let's do it a little bit like that. And you can, I don't know. I'm just adding a few. I'm going to do this more with my pen later, but I just wanted to see where everything was going to be at. All right, maybe we'll add some lines in there. Maybe we'll do that with colors, but I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at with our ostrich, and I think I'm ready to go to the outline. All right, so I'm going to start outlining. Let's do the neck first here. Ooh, go straight into the body. And stop, because we got to go to that leg. And then we got these big wing feathers. Even though it doesn't know how to fly. But they can run. Oh my, they can run. They can run up to, I think it's 44 miles an hour. That is crazy fast. All right, get those in there. Go all the way down. Get the back of it. I'm going to add the tail feathers. Same thing, kind of add some little feathers there. And we'll do another little row of those, because those are going to be different colors. Same here. Like that. There we go. And then we'll go up to the head. You know what? I think I need to add a little spikes on the head, because they got cute little spikes all over. Like little pokey hairs. We'll add those. Then our circle for the eye. Draw the big pupil. Did you know that ostrich nests are 10 feet wide? That is so big. That's a huge nest. Could you imagine seeing a nest that big? That kind of blows my mind a little. That is so big. And their eggs are super big too. They're like this big. Isn't that incredible? They're that big. I guess for that big of a bird, they'd have to have a big egg, but still, that is pretty wild. And another cool thing they do with their nests and raising the little ostrich babies or ostrich chicks, when they're incubating them, where the parents are sitting on them, helping them stay warm so that they can hatch, and they have them in these, so they have that 10-foot wide nests we said, but that's not just for one family of ostriches. That's for a lot of family of ostriches. They drop all their eggs off, like up to 60 eggs they'll keep in there, and they'll keep them all warm at once. They don't have lots of little nests everywhere. They actually keep them all in one big nest. That is really cool. It's like they have a little community to take care of them. They'll take care of each other. And the moms and the dads equally share their load of work, taking care of the babies. That's pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to go through here. I'm just going to add some more little details in the feathers, but pretty much I'm done with the line work, and I'm going to go through and erase all the pencil sketch underneath here so that I can get coloring. And you don't need to be here for that. You can go ahead and do all of that on your own, and we can catch up right at the very end and see what we made. How does that sound? Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And I think that's it. Oh, this ostrich turned out so cool. I love that. It's kind of funny how they have those little naked legs and neck. Not sure why they don't have feathers on all those parts, but it makes for a really fun drawing. And animals are just so interesting and unique, and the ostrich is no different. Such a cool animal. I hope you guys loved learning some of those facts about ostriches. I thought they were fascinating myself. And hopefully you love how your ostrich turned out. I'm excited to see what you guys have made. You guys can always share that with me. Just tag us at Brave Kids Art Club on Instagram, and I'll get a chance to see what you guys are making, or have your parents direct message us. But then also, make sure you sign your work. You're proud of what you made, right? So we need to sign our stuff. I'm gonna put my initials here at the bottom, and our ostrich illustration is finished. Thank you guys so much for drawing with me. I love drawing with you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And remember, before you go, be brave, be creative, but most importantly, be you. Alrighty, we'll see you guys next time.